as if she were a member of the family, and always had been. We knew her over 30 years, 35 years maybe. 40? Our birthdays were around the same time, and we celebrated them together as much as possible. She was especially supportive of my wife. Always had a very almost breathtaking comment to make about Linda, who reminded her of a member of her family who had passed away from the same physical crisis. Eddie said, my wife was able to survive. And then she suffered the loss of her sister Joanna to a disease that my wife also confronted and survived. So she considered my wife something of a miracle. And she declared her miraculousness every time she got a chance. And this was very reinforcing for all of us. So we will, and already do, miss her on account of, as I said before, the seemingly everlasting support that she gave our family, myself included. So that when the bishop was mentioning her spirituality and the sense she had about her of living in two worlds simultaneously, this one and the next, I can personally attest to that. She was for me the most spiritual person I ever met. And her Baha'i faith seemed to confirm this. But it pre-existed all of her declarations of faith, which tended towards the Eastern rather than the Western religions. And so much so, I would say that in her case, her passing seemed to be, in that respect, a non-event. I mean, we feel her presence, probably, and I thank everyone for coming, but probably everyone in this room can attest to a similar experience. That once you knew her forever. And if there's any truth to the life, we will meet again. That would be certainly odds-on predictable for Cookie. Cookie, with her joy, Bishop Crutcher said, she filled the room with this spirituality that had a joyful side, that had a transcendent side, a religious side, mystical side. And I'm sure everyone here knows exactly what I'm saying, this groping way. It remains for me to thank you again for coming. Not that I'm hosting this, but it feels as if, thanks to you, she's even more real and more present now than ever. You know, when I've left anything out, Linda, I apologize. But there's still more to say. I have to mention her favorite artist was Mozart. She had a copy of the Magic Flute in her car. And Tolkien was her favorite author. So you can see what I mean, you know. She had a disembodied presence for us that is unmatched by any other person I've ever met. I just want to say that for the record, Cookie, that you were extraordinary, and we can't possibly replace you, but maybe we don't have to, and that's my biggest hope. We don't have to, because nothing really happened in a timeless sense. So thank you again.
We're late. The traffic from the valley is, San Fernando Valley was a bit much. It took 3 hours. Over 3 hours. We have to go. Anyway, I want to read something, but I've known Cookie since the early 60s. When I was in college at UCSB, we had a great group of friends, and so I've known her a long time. We've done a lot of things together, fishing on the pier together, being confirmed as Episcopalians here with Bishop Gooden. And we'd go visit Father Hartime when he developed Alzheimer's, and we went to see him, and got to, you know. So we've had a long life of fascinating experiences. I've known her a long time. We're odd in the sense that I wasn't into jewelry. I wasn't into metaphysical stuff at all. But we just hit it off and have been friends forever. She, we loved cats, so that was always fun. And so I've just known her a long, long time. And it's been hard to realize she's gone. I've had a horrible week thinking about her, but thinking of all the fun things we did. We'd go to Catrini's for torpedoes. I mean, that's from college times. You'd always do that. So, and I visited her at the newspaper on campus when she was working with that. So, and I have lots of pictures. Of course, I couldn't find it, but I have lots of pictures of her that I would share if I want to. Let me just read this. I like to read this at celebrations of life. This is a poem called The Dash. I don't know if anybody's heard this, but I'll try to get through it. It's by Linda Ellis, 1996. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone, from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth, and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on earth. And now only those who loved them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love, and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? I was at a funeral when I heard this, and had to find out where I could get it, because I think it's really true. Cookie had a good dash. She, and like I said, we're t-shirt people. She was in Scouts. I've been in Scouts since I was 7. So I luckily have her sash and her tie and a pin that she gave me years ago. And I've also read about her history with her father being born in the Klondike and his mom writing a book, keeping diaries, and I've read the books, and they were wonderful. Has anybody else read the books? Okay, I could never be a pioneer. I've decided after reading those books. But if you ever have a chance, get a hold of the books, because they're amazing. I loved her dad. When I was in a horrible auto accident in '81, they came to visit. And that was just memorable. So I've had a lot of experience with Cookie, and I'm sure all of you have. I'm just sorry I came a little late, but we really wanted to be here because she was so special. And maybe she'll come visit us. She was so spiritual. So, and I know she went with you to France for the millennium. My daughter was there too. But anyway, we were sort of odd to match, because she did everything I didn't do. You know. So anyway, but I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to be able to talk with you guys later. And thanks. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
I have that little phone, you know, I've got a copy of it from my brother-in-law, but I think I have part of the thing missing, because there's some at the top I don't have.
Well, copy from you.
What about the book?
What book? Her book? Her books from Alaska? Do you still have?
Yeah, I have. I think if you Google Klondike, you might pick them up. I mean, when I say books, I think we're only talking
The father,
2 books.
yeah, the grandfather had kept a diary, and the mother, the grandmother kept a diary. And her father was born in a Klondike.
Exactly.
And it's just a wonderful thing. And anyway.
Very raw, very...
Oh, I could never...
Almost...
Well, I loved it because I've been to Alaska. And I took the Alcan, and it reminded me of all these places I had been. So it was just real exciting to be there and stuff. So, but anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.
That little dash is the line between your